Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are continuing with the series that we've been putting out. This is the top 10 cards of each rarity that we have in the current standard rotation. As I mentioned in the previous videos, these videos that are coming out, we don't have any Phyrexia All Will Be One cards featured in this video, and just the reason for that is we haven't played with a whole lot of them. We haven't collected all of them yet. So we kind of don't really know a whole ton about those, right? So it'd be kind of irresponsible for us to put that in a video and say, hey, go and get these cards, spend all your resources on getting these cards, and we don't know anything about them. Yeah, so we're not going to do that to you guys. We're going to just put it out there that, hey, these videos don't have those Phyrexia 1 cards out yet. Look for the other video on our page that's got those Phyrexia 1s. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. Today's video is the top 10 Mythic cards in the current standard rotation. Alright, so here's the first one I want to point out. It's a very good card, definitely a top 10 in the current standard rotation. This is a blue card, costs you 25 to play it. It's called One with the Multiverse. It says here at the beginning of your turn, you may fetch the first card from your library. If you do, it gains full mana. Otherwise, convert 6 gems to blue. This is a really good card. I like this card. I mean, obviously it costs a lot. 25 is a heck of a price to pay. But you see why it costs a lot, right? It's able to pay itself off within a couple of turns. Every time you start your turn, you'll be able to fetch a card. That card will be free if you want it to be free. That really helps. If not, you don't want to use that ability, that's okay. You can convert 6 gems to blue. I kind of like that first ability there. I would just go and take those free cards every single turn. Alright, so here's another card I like. This card is definitely a top 10 card. Cityscape Leveler. This is a great card when we're talking about defense, right? It says here, when you cast this creature or this creature attacks, destroy your opponent's last creature. If you cannot destroy an opponent's support, then your opponent creates a Power Stone token. I think some people are going to get caught up with that Power Stone token part, right? You kind of don't want to give them a Power Stone token. But you know what? It's worth it, because if you get to destroy one of your opponent's creatures every turn, and all you have to worry about is them trying to use up a Power Stone token, that's kind of a good deal, right? I think this is going to be able to keep things off the battlefield for you. And it's going to be able to destroy a lot of opponent creatures. And you know what? They're going to get a Power Stone token every turn. Who cares, right? Because you're winning on this front, right? Destroy a creature, and all you gotta do is give up a Power Stone token. That's a good deal for you every single day of the week. Alright, here's another card that I like. This is Gaia's Revenge, 23. It's an expensive card. You can't get it really around that. You could go with the Mox Emerald to cast this guy a lot faster. That does help. This is one of those that if you can reinforce him, this becomes very, very dangerous, right? So reinforce this guy as many times as humanly possible. That just really helps. You'll see this in my a couple of decks that I use, and the reason is it's just really, really good. Your opponent can't cast spells on it, and it's going to attack on the first turn, right? Gaia's Revenge is definitely one of those that, I don't know, maybe a top 5 card in the Origin set. Really good card here. Here's another card from the Origin set that I really like. Pyromancer's Goggles. Cost 21 to cast. That's kind of expensive, but you'll see why, right? It says activate 3, fetch the next spell from your library, put it in your hand. It's free. This is a very good card because you're going to be able to just pull lots of spells, and they're going to be free. That's really what you want. That's why it's worth it, to have that 21. You see this card in a lot of decks that I use, right? The Breaking of the Power Stone one that I showed, that event deck. It really just revolves around you hitting this activate 3 as many times as humanly possible, and you'll be able to win the game just doing that, right? So great card, definitely a top 10. Here's another card I think is a top 10 for the current standard rotation when we're talking about Mythics. This is Hide Sulu's Consumes All.
Hidetsugu Consumes All is a great card, especially when you're able to get to this last ability and you're able to launch this Vessel of All Consuming. The Vessel of All Consuming, it's a great one. It says here, it's a creature, gonna be black and red. All right, it's 3/3. Every time this creature does damage, you get 1/1 added. That's gonna help you to build this creature up. But really the big part about this is the second part here. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, if this creature's power is 10 or greater, you gain 30 loyalty. So that's really, really good. We want to make this guy as strong as possible, and then he's going to attack, and then you're going to get 30 loyalty every single turn. And this is one of those that you can revolve an entire deck around this card. And all you're going to do is just get that loyalty down, launch your loyalty abilities, and if you got the right planeswalker that this is going for, this is going to be a very good card in a very good deck. Alright, so here's the next one, Faithbound Judge. I like this one a lot. Faithbound Judge, I like this because it kind of runs that same idea with the loyalty points. This is going to be able to put down a lot of loyalty points for you. You're going to be able to launch loyalty abilities every single turn. And this is how. You can see this bottom part here. When you make a white match by swap for the first time during your turn, if this card is in your graveyard, create a Sinner's Judgment token. Alright, this is the Sinner's Judgment token. It's a support card. It says at the beginning of your turn, increase this card's level by 1, then gain X loyalty. X is 8 times this card's level. So you can see there, every single time, you're going to be able to just continually get lots and lots of loyalty points. And you're going to be able to basically use loyalty abilities every single turn. And if you can put this card in a deck that has really good loyalty abilities, right, like a planeswalker like Teferi 1, yeah, you're going to be able to win lots and lots of games. Okay, here's the next one that I like. This one has a case to be the best card that you'll see in this video. Alright, this is one of the best cards overall in the Mythic section here for the current standard rotation. The big thing here is you're going to be able to drain mana from your hand as soon as you play this card. And how many ever pieces of mana or points of mana that you are able to drain, you're going to turn that into a buff for the rest of your creatures. Alright, it says here, while on the battlefield, your other creatures get XX, and X is equal to this card's level, which of course is equal to the amount of mana that you drain from your hand. So real quick, to kind of explain, let's say you had 20 mana in your hand and you put this card down. You can drain all 20 mana from your hand, and then all the other creatures that you have on the battlefield are going to get plus 20, plus 20. So you can see why it's very, very strong, very, very good. Here's the next card I like, Kaito Shizuki. This is a Vanguard card. The reason I like this one here is it's basically if this support has 7 or more shields, whenever a black or blue creature you control attacks, you will basically be able to grab the next black or blue creature that's in your library and put them on the battlefield under your control. So that's really, really awesome, especially when you consider that you can make your own black and blue creatures here using this card. This is the ninja token that you're able to use if you just use that third ability, right? It's a blue creature. You can have this card down. You don't need anything else. You put that blue ninja down. When the blue ninja attacks, he's going to be able to grab the first black or blue creature that you have in your deck, put it in play. That's a great, great advantage, right? You'll get creatures that are free every single turn once you have this card out. And you can see how great it is. I've used this card with several decks on this channel, right? So the Nixilis Invasion Ship deck is a deck that uses this card to pull the creatures that you need. And that's really the power of this card here. Alright, so here's the next card. Savior of All Invoke. This is a good card. This is a good card that plays some good defense for you. It says here, when this creature trains, exile target opposing creature into your exile. If you can't, exile the first creature card without buried from your graveyard. So exile is one of those where if you have a creature that's bigger than this guy, it's got a power that's more than 1 here. you're going to be able to give this guy a buff, right? He's going to get a +1/+1. And then that's the train ability. So when he hits that train ability, you'll be able to exile a target creature into your exile. So that's going to be really good. You're going to be able to keep your opponent from playing cards as long as you got a creature bigger than this guy. And that really does help. Alright, moving on. This card here, you can make the case that this is the best card in the entire video, right? Tainted Adversary. This card is very, very good. What you'll see here is basically, when you play this card, you can drain your hand of all the mana that you have. Once you do that, your level will go up the same amount of mana that you've, of course, drained. And you're going to be able to put down Decayed Zombie tokens, right? So how many Decayed Zombie tokens? 2 times the amount that you drain from your hand, right? So let's say you have 20 mana in your hand, all right? You drain all 20. You're going to be able to put 40 Decayed Zombie tokens down, 40 of them. Now, here's the thing. Each of those Decayed Zombie tokens is is 2/2. So that means that you drain 20, you'll be able to put 40 down, but the size of the creature is going to be 80/80, which is just crazy. I kind of like to use this card a lot. It's completely devastating. Alright, so that's the top 10, guys. Here are some honorable mentions that I like. These ones, of course, are right outside the top 10. And I want to start with Healer of the Pride. Healer of the Pride's a good card if you want to use it with, token creatures. Token creatures like the Thopters will come out. And every time a Thopter comes out, or any other creature comes out, if you have full life, you can enlist 3 gems. Now that's a really good one. If you don't have full life, you'll gain 9 life, right? Until hopefully you get full life again. But that enlist is a very interesting one, because basically what it does is the game will look for white gems that are on the board, and then they will turn them into the improved version of those white gems, which is the enlist gem. Alright, now here's the thing. If you don't have any white gems that are able to do that, you'll convert other gems into white, and then they will be enlist gems. Now that's really, really good, because basically this becomes a card that will convert gems into white. And if you use that ability, just throw down tons and tons of these token creatures, you're going to be able to put yourself up to full life, and then just create a lot of these enlist gems. They're going to be able to match with each other, and then they're going to fill your hand with mana. So good stuff, really good stuff. Here's the next one, Joda the Unifier. This one I think is right outside the top 10. It would be inside the top 10, but it kind of doesn't work right now. I've reported it to the developers. They said they're going to work on it, but if this card gets fixed the way that it should, it's going to be quite devastating. Right, it says here, at the beginning of combat on your turn, legendary creatures you control get XX until the beginning of your next turn. Legendary creatures you control get XX for each of their reinforcements as well, until the beginning of your next turn. And X is the number of legendary creatures you control, including their reinforcements. So let's say you had a creature, right, and next to that creature is of course a legendary creature. Next to that is a stack of 10 Thopters, right? 10 Thopters. I'm using Thopters because a Thopter is a legendary creature, because it's an artifact creature. Now let's say you had a stack of 10 Thopters there, right? So all of your legendary cards would get +10/+10. Actually, we get +11/+11 because you got the 10 Thopters, plus you got the extra one that I mentioned in the scenario. Now that's good on its own, but here's the thing. Those Thopters would get 11/11 for every single reinforcement that they got. That makes them completely devastating, right? Now here's the thing I just mentioned, right? Like this one, it's kind of broken right now. They're not counting those artifact creatures as legendary, as it should say, that they do in the rules. But once they get this thing fixed, it's going to be a top 10, there's no doubt. Alright, here's the last card I want to talk about, Thopter Spy Network. This is a good card if you want token creatures, right? All you gotta do is play this card and another support, and once you have both of those on the board at the same time, you'll make 4 Thopter tokens every single turn. You can see how that becomes devastating, right? You'll be able to create a snowball effect. These creatures will get bigger and bigger and more devastating every turn. Okay guys, so that's the top 10 plus the honorable mentions. I hope you guys liked it. And, you know, like and subscribe, as I said, and stay tuned for the next one that comes out in this series. All right, good gaming, guys.